Thank you so much, Derek, for this opportunity to share knowledge, to share something about substance abuse. Greetings to all our viewers. My name is Derek, and I'm happy to welcome you to yet another session of the Youngster series hosted by Life Fortress Uganda. Today on set, I'm very excited to discussing people between the age of 18, 30, 35. And so it's not a surprise that as a population we are predisposed to calamities of the sort, substance misuse being one of those. Dr. Seti, I want you to... Hello and welcome to the Life Fortress Youngster Eye series. It is a great evening, and on this specific occasion you're going to be discussing substance misuse. With me on set is a gentleman. I will allow him to introduce himself.
Thank you, Derek. My name is Dr. Seti Talemwa. I'm a medical officer, a mental health enthusiastic, someone who has passion for mental health and passion to see young people believe, and passion to see young people get out of the mess that they start unknowingly.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Seti, for the introduction. My name is Derek as usual, and so today I believe this is a very sensitive matter, most especially in a country where we have such a significant percentage of the population being that of the youth. In that bracket, we are discussing people between the age of 18, 30, 35. And so it's not a surprise that as a population we are predisposed to calamities of the sort, substance misuse being one of those. Dr. Seti, I want you to help us understand, basically for our viewers and anyone that is following what we are doing, what is substance misuse or substance abuse?
When you talk of substance abuse, I'll start by defining the age. You said 18 to 30, but if you speak of substance abuse, we can stretch a little lower to 12 and above.
Okay.
When they use, so we talk of substance abuse as a misuse of drugs. That's the basic definition you can talk about.
Yes.
Categories of drugs that are misused include alcohol, marijuana, Cuba, include some even over-the-counter medication that are used in hospitals can also be abused, and we all collectively term it as substance abuse.
Yes. I've heard that they are young people that go the extra mile to inhale jet fuel. Is that something that you've heard of in your profession as a doctor?
Yes, jet fuel, not even jet fuel, even diesel. People, even you find them, they are inhaling diesel. I remember in high school, whereby people used to bring juice.
Yes, juice.
And they pack juice, but when actually they put in some chemicals. So they keep sniffing. You don't understand, you see someone that put something from the suitcase and they are sniffing. And at the end of the day, you find they have jet fuel, diesel, petrol, a mixture of things. So, and at the end, they used to do those things maybe to get a height, maybe to keep awake, maybe to be strong, unknowingly that we are abusing substances.
Unknowingly. Now, when we speak of the population of, you've said it actually comes as low as 12.
Yes.
And for me, I think that is very, very worrying, because this is something that is putting the future of these young people that are likely to be extremely productive and very important to this nation at risk, at jeopardy. You've given us some of the reasons as to why young people are likely to abuse drugs. Maybe they're trying to get strong, they're trying to get through something because they're seeing someone else use it and they're thinking, that could be cool. Let me have a bit of that and test it myself. Could you paint us a picture, again, from your professional experience as a doctor? What are the likely effects
specific health effects or hazards that young people or any substance abuser is likely to find? Maybe perhaps by category, you know, you could maybe say alcohol, this is like what you're likely to get, and so on and so forth.
You see, every substance,
Yes.
everything has pros and cons.
Correct.
And people do things depending on what they have their plans and achievement.
Yes.
That maybe they want to achieve something.
Yes.
But when you talk of substance use or substance misuse,
Yes.
it starts slowly, a process whereby you start taking alcohol today. Maybe you're at a party, you sip some alcohol,
Yeah.
you feel happy.
You want to feel included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find there is no effect.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, you visit again, or you have a friend who has wine, you sip again.
Yeah. Just
It's
a
a
little
slow-
bit doesn't harm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a slow progression. Then the next day, you feel, I took it and I was happy.
And at this time you want to buy your own bottle.
Yes.
Keep it in your house.
So you drink, and you reach a level whereby we call it a dependent level.
Yes.
You're dependent.
You cannot do without it.
So you start thinking of, I should take a bottle. Maybe the other time I took it, I was happy, I managed to speak to my girlfriend, and I told her I was angry, I managed to confront my dad, so I will take. That tends to go away, and you find the body is now demanding,
Yes.
and you're dependent to alcohol.
Yes.
If you have not taken, then you can't perform.
Can function normally in society.
Yes. Then you reach a level whereby now you're addicted. You're even taking more, the body is calling you to
Take more and
take
more
more.
and more.
something small. If we talk about these substances,
Yes.
why do people tend to get to overtake and they misuse at the end?
Yes.
Most of these substances excite the brain.
Yes.
So you find there's a part we have the limbic system and the like.
Yes.
It's a rewarding pathway.
Yes.
So they can easily excite the brain, and they make someone feel happy, feel joyous. They get a hate, they want to do something. So at the end of the day, they start performing things based on what they are using. You find a gate man can only work the whole night when he is taking those weed leaves. You find a student at campus can only read when he
If
has
we're
taken
high on
alcohol.
something. Yes.
And it has an effect on the body, which is a slow progression. And different substances affect the body differently.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you find and what I would like to put to you
Yes.
is that when someone has taken for it takes time,
Yes.
a long
Sure it
time,
does.
and the body is dependent, stopping is hard. Majority get issues when they want to stop.
After the time that they're realizing this is endangering for their health, for their social lives, that they want to put an end to it, but that is a struggle of its own.
You see, Derek, the effects now are categorized.
Yes.
There are social effects,
Yes.
and there are medical effects.
Correct.
So if you talk of the psychosocial, of course, you will find someone is, if you've been a student,
Yes.
you're no longer performing very well in class.
Yes.
You're spending most of the time, your sleeping pattern may change,
Yes.
your desires may change,
Yes.
and all that has an effect to your social life,
Correct.
social well-being.
Correct.
So when those are the first signs we usually see, then before you realize what's not happening to me, then maybe a colleague talks to you and you want to change, then stopping becomes a problem. But you see, substance abuse, before we go further, there are risk factors
Yes.
that really cause people. You have peer pressure.
Correct.
Is a big thing that is taking the majority. And if you sit in a clinic and majority of the people you will see, they would ask, do you drink alcohol? Yeah, why? I want to be part of the boys.
Yeah, I want to feel included.
Yes.
I get you.
We went out and my friends were taking shisha. They were all high. I also took. I want to go back and take.
Yeah.
You know, she managed to pull out those strokes. I want. All that is
Peer pressure.
peer pressure leading them to that.
Yeah.
There is that life. And there are these individuals who have issues, problems,
Yes.
and they are a bit depressed and they find joy in those things.
I get you. I get you.
I have my problem, maybe I'm not performing in school, maybe work is really stressing me. I come home, they need rent.
And they just want some sort of
I
a
need
distraction.
something to distract me from whatever I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I buy a bottle of beer, 1 or 2 tomorrow. I sleep well. And in the end, I am taking beyond the reasons I had. And that's misuse.
Yeah.
So you see, those couple of things really cause people and the young generation, we are getting a big problem. There is also another issue whereby people have, you may not call them problems, but they tend to have these beliefs. My dad took and nothing happened.
Yeah, it's a thing.
My
that
uncle drinks.
It's a thing in our family.
Yeah,
we all
it's
drink.
part of us. We all drink. And we have had cases in hospitals.
Yes.
And there is something that really bars me from taking alcohol at all. Alcohol-induced pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis. For our viewers, what is pancreatitis?
Remember, I have an organ in our stomach called the pancreas, which releases some enzymes we use in digestion.
Yes.
And it is at times when you take alcohol. You may take it once or any time, depending on the substances or depending on which type of alcohol you've taken, it can affect that organ.
Yes.
And it swells a bit.
Oh.
And we call it pancreatitis.
Okay.
So that has made me fear to drink alcohol.
You personally, your experience bars you from ever touching a bottle.
This is something I'm bringing up to you.
Yeah.
That many people continue taking because they do not know the effect.
Correct.
Now me, I know, and I fear that. So taking alcohol, I've ever taken, I can tell you.
Yes.
But now, I cannot because I don't know when it will happen.
You don't know when you will be hooked. You don't know when the health effects will kick in.
Yeah, I don't know when it will happen.
I get you.
So you find it hard. I have had a friend. It's a touching story, but I had a friend whereby we moved with a strong Catholic, grew up in a Catholic environment, and believes taking alcohol is bad.
Yes, reciting the rosary.
Do you know, the man from the village came to campus, looks at someone drinking,
and
it's
they
like,
don't want to even come close to
feels
them.
alcohol is like a big problem. So one day we had a party.
Yeah.
And like, wine is sweet.
Yeah, you can taste a little.
You can, as you're saying.
I know.
He tasted a little. Wine
Yes.
was sweet.
Yes.
The next day, he tasted sengule. It was sweet.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's like, man, we should go out. And what's the occasion? We can't drink. Why? Man, we have suffered.
Yeah.
Let's go and drink. So at the end, we went and it was a beer party. But that aside, as we speak, as time moved, the man started drinking. Remember what I told you? Start slowly and move on.
Yeah.
And he's addicted now.
Yeah.
Someone who even walks to the bar and orders until he burns out, he can't even walk. He goes mumbling up to his room, his home. And at the end, when you talk of effects, if you look at that example, the effects I've seen, it will cause delay to class because the whole night you've been drinking, you're drunk.
Even
Instead
delayed
of waking
to go
up
to work.
at 7, you still have hangover.
Yeah.
We start from there. Those are effects
Yes.
of using substances.
Correct.
So you're unable to perform
Yes.
your daily duties well.
Yes.
If you've been working, like where you work by 7, you're supposed to be at work. It is impossible.
Yeah, you start to bring up excuses, coming in 2
you're
hours
coming late, you're not sober.
Yeah.
And at the end, productivity at work, productivity in class,
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
So that means it affects your day-to-day living.
Well-being.
At home, the behavior has changed. You've been drunk, everyone is talking to you, speaking to them rudely. Most of them tend to have
you become aggressive.
yes.
I get
And they'll
you.
come to the clinic, it's like, I don't understand my son. He no longer goes to school. At school, they say he's always alone in a corner. I don't know. I want to know, does he use drugs? That's what parents tell us.
Correct.
And you're like, doctor, I want you to test and find. But they're like, drugs, we cannot test it. Immediately,
they keep clearing out of the
yes.
system.
So,
Right.
and when you take history, you find there is a lot.
Yeah.
And the majority are unaware of these things.
Yeah.
So when we talk of effects,
Yes.
we have social effects and
Yeah.
medical effects.
Correct.
And at times, some people who are really bad off have signs.
It starts to show.
Yeah.
Yes.
They either start becoming aggressive.
Yeah. That's behavioral.
Yes.
Yes.
They're becoming aggressive.
Yeah.
Other people have tend to get feeding disorders.
They don't want to eat anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people now, because the body's functionality has changed.
Has been altered by introduction of a
the-
foreign substance
Yeah.
in intoxicating amounts.
Now you see when you talk of intoxicating amounts, that's
Yeah.
the word.
Yes.
Because the body has changed. Our bodies are designed in a manner that there are chemicals which are released, which are important in our body.
Correct.
Now we eat, when you take these substances, you know, some make you more happy,
Yeah.
others dampen your mood,
Right.
others change your physiology.
Yes.
So those substances tend to cause a release of other chemicals in the body. And
Yes.
usually those chemicals are released in our body, our brain.
Yeah.
And the brain being a control of most of the things,
Yeah.
then people tend to start getting issues. Your appetite is poor or
Yeah.
it is high.
Yeah.
Like either you reduce what you've been doing or you do it.
Goes in hyper mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you find there is that behavior change
Correct.
from normal. That's an effect. Others take alcohol. It's a slow progression. You know, alcohol is commonly used and it is cheap here.
Yeah.
And it is to the majority, it's easy for a young person to go to a bar and buy alcohol. And everyone will look at them and it's okay.
Yeah.
But so we can drill much on alcohol. If you see another thing, alcohol also affects other organs
Yeah.
like the liver.
The liver.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, just to cut you short, Doctor, in my, it should have been biology, science, you know, where we get that basic knowledge, the liver should be, if not one of the most important organs of the body.
It is very important because we use it to remove toxins. It helps us much to remove toxins from our body. It's very important. And that effect goes slowly with time. Maybe 2 years, 5 years, 1. Yeah?
Yeah.
And different people behave differently.
Right.
So at times people tend to come with liver problems because of things they are taking. Talk about smoking. People smoke marijuana, tobacco, whatever.
Shisha.
All those things
Shisha is the one for the cool guys, right?
are for the rich. If
Yeah.
you don't go to a club, you can't access shisha. So
Right.
boys in Katanga will buy the other thing they roll.
Yeah, that's marijuana, I
Eh.
think.
Yeah, marijuana, tobacco, they roll. Usually pack them tiny like this. And at times I've had, I remember during my internship, I was seated and I treated the patient previously and she got better.
Yes.
So she comes back with the son and having very many things tied in buveras. They're like, doctor, what are these? Do they have any effect to my child? We are always, because he's always taking and keeps getting from his friends.
Yeah.
So those things. But as we keep talking about effects to the body, people who smoke, they are endangering their lungs.
Yes. Lung cancer.
They get wait on the cancers, they get problems with their
Lungs, yes.
So lung cancer being part.
Correct.
And then if you talk of cancers, you see, in our bodies, when we talk, cancer is a different category. Some things we take, even food, can be carcinogens, induce cancer to our bodies.
Correct.
So even these substances, at times, they also can induce cancers in our body.
Right.
That will be a bigger discussion.
Right.
But yeah, so even this substance predisposes us to other diseases that we've seen. I've told you of a pancreatitis.
Yes.
I told you of a liver problem.
Yes.
The people have come with disorders, mental disorders.
Yes.
They're either anxious and they get anxiety disorders.
Depressed.
There are those who are depressed. There are those who are intoxicated with alcohol and they are there with alcohol misuse disorders.
Right.
So it's
a huge spectrum of effects that people are likely to suffer.
The paining thing is we get those problems unknowingly.
Unknowingly.
It's not like a mosquito that you would avoid it from biting you and you keep taking. So it's substance abuse and its effects are really so broad. And we would want everyone to understand that we can avoid these things
if we get the message of what these things can do to us, of what these things can do to our interaction with the people around us, what they can do to kill our futures. Now, fortunately for our viewers, having understood everything that can go wrong when we misuse these substances, because Dr. Seti here clearly shared that he's a man that has ever touched a bottle before, but he doesn't today, because as a doctor, he got to understand everything that can go wrong when you use a substance like alcohol. Now, we're not saying that we're not saying it is criminal for these young people to get involved in such. Like you put it very clearly, it is the lack of knowledge for what these things can do. Fortunately, we do have Life Fortress Uganda, a non-government organization that is here for all the young people that are suffering with addiction to substances of the sort. And we are asking you to involve us. We're asking you to contact us through all our different platforms. We do have a YouTube channel, we do have a Facebook page, we do have a Twitter account. Our contacts are there. We do have a website. Feel very free to reach out to us. We do have access to plenty of medical professionals, like we do have Dr. Seti on set. There are very many that we can get you linked up with, including those that can help us with those that have gotten mental related effects in relation to substance use and misuse. And we're asking you, you're not alone in this. Like you said, when you want to start, rather to stop, having understood how much this has ruined your life, it's not an easy process. That is not something that you can go through alone. You definitely need someone to hold your hand, and Life Fortress Uganda is the right place for you, whoever is watching us out there. Thank you so much, Dr. Seti, for making time. I hope that we make these discussions a routine and spread as much knowledge as we can, because the future of this country lies in the hands of the young people. And that is the reason as well as Life Fortress we feel that we've got to give every price. We've got to pay the price to make sure that we protect the future of this country by protecting the young people from things that devour them. Thank you so much for viewing. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share this content. I wish you all a good part of your days.